Whoa! Holy smokes! Posing ever so nicely. Look at that. Welcome everyone to the new Fly Fisher. I'm your host, Phil Rowley. On today's show, we're in heaven. We're on Crooks Lake Lodge in fantastic Labrador. It's all about big flies and big fish. We're gonna have brookies like this, big pike, a lot of topwater, big streamers. It's gonna be a great show, so stick around. You're gonna learn a lot.
Let him go back to live another day.
Oh, baby!
Look at that fish. Very good fish.
Another fine, beautiful steelhead taken here.
This is a good example of the family Heptageneidae. This is why you need a lot of backing.
On today's show, the new Fly Fisher crew is destined for Labrador and Crooks Lake Lodge in pursuit of brook trout and pike. Crooks Lake is located 60 miles southeast of Goose Bay and is only accessible by float plane. The relatively short scenic ride takes you over the spectacular rugged country Labrador is famous for. It promises to be a fantastic trip. Whoa! There we go! Didn't even pop, roller just drifted. Fish just came up, just let it swing, so the tension will cause these things to pop, and brookie just came up and rolled on it. Nice big brookie. And again, these shaving brush flies, these big disturbance flies. This is a beautiful Labrador brookie. This is why you come to Labrador. Brook trout capital of the world, I think. And the value of a good guide. Mark told me where to expect them, and first cast into the riffle water just ahead where it spills into the next pool. Big brookie. Oh, big powerful fish here. Gorgeous, gorgeous. What a great fish. And again, this is where these stout, using a 7-weight system here. Good backbone, throw large flies. Not a bad start. Just gonna lay the rod here out of harm's way. Wet my hands and get that. Oh, what a magnificent, magnificent fish. Look at this thing. That hasn't passed up too many meals. Oh, hardly picked this up. Oh, gotta come to Labrador if you want a brookie. And there's that shaving brush right in the upper jaw. It causes a lot of disturbance. We've noticed a lot of rodents running around, lemmings, voles, mice, and they get in the water, and I'm sure they don't get far. Look at that magnificent brookie. Oh, this is why you come to Labrador and get these big fly, big fish. Let him go back to create future brookies.
5.5 pound now.
Yeah, so what we've got here is just let you know about the system. When you're casting big flies for big fish, you need a good stout rod. Helps turn over these big flies. We're using big shaving brush poppers, big streamers, and it's really important. It really helps the presentation, any kind of wind as well. Fly line as well is these big front tapers. Your pike, bass, clouser taper lines really help turn over these large flies for these brookies. So we're gonna use this system again, throw out and see if we can catch brother or sister, or maybe even his grandfather. This, folks, is a shaving brush. Simple deer hair popper, marabou tail on a 2/0 stinger hook. We've got on a short wire trace because we've got pike in the neighborhood and they're hard on monofilament. A short stout leader, probably about 7.5 to 8 feet long. And we're just casting it out across this sort of slow backwater here, the slight current, letting the fly sit, settle, and then stripping it back with aggressive 1-foot strips, almost like you're shaking a thermometer and making that fly pop. And these brookies are just coming out of the water, exploding on the fly. It's exciting. So all I'm doing is stripping this fly, steady, 1-foot pulls, 6 to 12 inches, making that fly pop, almost like you're shaking a thermometer with your hand. And these brookies will follow it right in, and if they want it, they come like a freight train, right out of the water. The trick here, is you've got to let them take the fly. So as this fly is popping along, they're going to come up, grab it, over top of it. You got to let them take it, almost just keep stripping till they're tight to the fish. The natural reaction is to see that explosion, is to rip the fly out, and I'm no different. I've done it a couple of times. But let them take it, grab it, turn down with it, pull it into the corner of their mouth, set the hook on them, and the battle's on. It's exciting fishing. Oh, he did it again! That fish has come up and rolled on it twice, and I haven't felt him hit the hook. I haven't stuck him, if you will, so there's a good chance he's active. He should come back and hit it again, hopefully. He's come up 3 times. There we go. You knew eventually he would come back 3 times. This is the 3rd time this brookie had come up. Doesn't look all that big, but still a decent brookie in anybody's book. And he'd come back 3 times. He'd never felt the fly. He missed it. So I was fairly confident I could continue to put the fly in that area, and eventually he'd hook up, and he got it that time. The trick is to suppress your urge to pull the fly out of his mouth and keep stripping and let him grab it, turn, pull it down, and take it. And that'll pull the hook right into his mouth, and you'll get yourself a brookie like this. I can't believe the beauty and the size of these and the power of these fish. It's magnificent. Oh, thank you, Mark. Yes, it's got a tag in him. So you can see this is not your average rodent pattern, but it's just a standard balsa wood bass popper, and you can bring those to Labrador and they'll work fantastic here on these big brookies and northerns. I noticed this has a bright orange tag in it, number 4538. You guys tagged them up here for study?
Yes, we tagged, and we never tagged this fish at number 7. He was tagged upstream somewhere, so we'll check our notes when we get back and see where he was tagged to. But it was probably at number 2 or 3, I would say.
So these fish migrate a fair distance, probably to spawn, feed. Just a beautiful condition, little female here. Lots of growth left in this fish, so we'll let it go back and record that number and put that in the data bank.
Hopefully she's going to be around next year.
There she goes. When you're fishing these big dries, shaving brushes, articulated lemmings, poppers, strip retrieve is your best retrieve. So the cast is made up to the line control hand and strip from behind. You've got to vary it for the different types. The shaving brush seems to like a long, almost thermometer shake strip to get it to pop. The little balsa wood poppers are perhaps a shorter 3-inch to get it pop. And this articulated lemming, because it's a lot of animal fur, it gets waterlogged quickly, just a slow strip to get it to pop. If you strip too fast, dives the fly underwater and you don't get the same action that you're hoping. Again, we're trying to get these brookies to come up and eat these big, meaty flies. I'm going to let it sit for 10 and then strip. Strip, strip, strip. Whoa! Holy smokes! Did you see that? If you didn't know that was a brookie, you think it was a great white shark taking a seal or something. It's incredible. Look at this thing go. Brute strength. Over top of the fly, so I'm going to get him on the reel, so if I have to take the fight downstream or upstream, I'm not treading on my fly line. I'm going to use this 7-weight rod that helps throw these big flies to our advantage now to quickly defeat the brookie. What an incredible take. You've got to come to Labrador and do this. This makes the gentle sip of a little size 14 Adams. Is this a pike? Maybe. Hard to it is. It's a small pike. I've taken a few brookies out of here and there's a pike waiting in the lineup, I guess. Incredible. What a take. Good job. Slippery little rodent. Oh, there he goes. Come to Labrador. Pike, brookies, every cast. You never know what you're going to get. My deer hair popper here is a little waterlogged between getting wet and getting drowned by big brookies. So it's a good idea to constantly maintain them so they pop at their best, and that's using a dry fly powder, desiccant type to get the moisture out, reapply floatant, and just a simple sometimes thumb and forefinger to squeeze the moisture out of here to keep this riding high and popping well. It's late in the season here in Labrador. Guides have told us most of the hatches are finished, so it's all about big flies for big fish. Here's some of the things you need to consider. First, when you get to an area, go in top water seems to be the way to go. Get those aggressive fish up and you just can't beat the take. So what we have here, this is the shaving brush, spun and clipped deer hair style popper, really pops and gurgles. We've got your standard balsa painted bass popper, rubber legs, marabou tail, some hackle in there. That really gurgles as well, draws them up. And there's lots of rodents running around in the fields now. So we've got lemmings, mice, voles. This is a huge articulated lemming pattern. Can be taken for any rodent. And the strikes to this are incredible, and big pike will come to this as well. So think about these topwater flies when you come to Labrador. Our most effective surface popper was the shaving brush designed by Crooks Lake Lodge guide Lee Peddle. Lee's shaving brush is deadly when fish are chasing and slashing prey at the surface. Here is the recipe. For the hook, we used a Mustad C52S BLN stinger hook. The tail consisted of strung marabou mixed with a few strands of super flash. Deer hair formed the collar, and we also used deer hair spun and clipped to form the body. The body has a number of variations. You can be all natural, or don't be afraid to insert a bright midsection of either chartreuse, hot orange, red, or yellow deer hair. Once you've tested a run, gone through with the top water, had some fun there, it's always a good strategy to go back up and work some big streamers through there. Be surprised at what you can pull out of that hole that you may not have known was there. So we've got a good selection in here for Labrador. We've got a purple woolly bugger. We've got a tried and true kiwi muddler here. You can tie these with yellow. This is a yellow one, obviously, but you can tie browns. Olives work well. This is a popsicle leech, design of mine, that can be tied in a host of colors: browns, olives, blacks. All white is a very successful version. The old standard, a variation of the marabou muddler, a yellow one here, but white ones, black ones. This one's got a cone head on it, help you get down in a little bit of current. And then the real big meanie, the mole leech here, the mother of all leeches. This is cross-cut rabbit on a spectre braid core with a little tiny egg hook on the back end as a stinger. Tie these in blacks, olives, put spun heads on them. You can make mouse variations. Very selective, a very effective selection of flies here. You notice they're all on ring eye hooks as well, most of these, and that gives you that nice straight pull when you're using a non-slip loop knot, you can really get that fly to trail and follow. So this is a good broad selection for here in Labrador or anywhere where you're fishing big flies for big fish. Holy, I've got a really nice pike on here, and I'd like to say it was from a unique presentation and all thought out. I was actually changed flies to this big articulated mole, which stands for mother of all leeches. It's actually a steelhead pattern, a West Coast steelhead pattern. It's tied on a Dacron core, and I was just rabbit strip body, and I was just dabbling the fly in the shallows to get it wet before casting. And I did it once, twice, and the second time in water less than knee deep, this big pike just came out of nowhere and annihilated the fly. It scared the living tar out of me. And it's a good pike. We should put a scale on this and see how much it weighs. Get that, show people how to net way big fish. There we go. Holy smokes. That fish was in water this deep, 5 feet from the bank. So you don't have to cast far here in Labrador to catch fish. Well, there's our fly here. It's just it's tied on the front section here is the shank, and this is all just cross-cut rabbit tied onto braided spectre braid and a little tiny up-eye octopus hook. So you get the advantage of a big fly, but not the disadvantage of a long shank, which a fish can lever to its advantage and throw out. Plus, it makes it hard to throw. And once this is hooked, fish has nothing to fight or and lever against. So it's a very effective pattern, not only for steelhead where it was designed, but big northerns and brookies like we have here in Labrador. So I'm just going to move out of the way and we'll show you that pike, because it's a magnificent. Big flies, big fish. Come to Labrador for big brookies and big pike like this. Incredible. These techniques will work here in Labrador or anywhere there's big fish. What a magnificent fish. And that fish was sitting in about 12 inches of water. Just came up and ate the leech as I was preparing it to cast, getting it wet so it would sink right away. And there she goes, or he goes, off to his lair. Crooks Lake Lodge offers fly fishers an unbelievable fly fishing experience. During my stay, I had the chance to speak with owner Bill Murphy.
Yeah, the type of plan that we offer here is the American plan, all-inclusive, no surprises, showers, excellent food, professional guides. Come and see us. The accommodations up here, they're comfortable, very small. The lodge is not a large lodge, like we don't do a factory style push through people. We have 6 a week up here, 3 double bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We have hot and cold running water, of course. The guides have been with me now for, jeepers, Mark has been here since we started. And they're all very, very professional. They all take pride in their work. They enjoy what they're doing. They like talking to people, and they're easy to talk to, and they can answer questions, very knowledgeable. And because they've been here so long, they know the water like the back of their hand, which is excellent. I've had people come back here now for 15 years saying, wow, this is the, a lot of them have said that this is the only place they've come to a second time. They've been all over Canada, a lot of them all over the world. They just keep on coming back, mainly because the fishing is great here. It's world-class fishing, and the guides are so great. The cook, meals are perfect. Everything is just fits right into their fishing plan. So if you want to contact us or get in touch with Crooks Lake, just contact Destination Labrador, or you can go into our own website, adnorth.com. Either way, we give our numbers and how to get in touch with us.
done here is we came through this run earlier today with the topwater flies, big topwaters, big poppers, and got everybody that was active in there. We've sort of rested the pool for a sec, and now I'm just swinging and stripping big articulated mole pattern, a white, all white cross-cut rabbit streamer. It's called a mole. It stands for Mother of All Leeches. First designed by an American by the name of Derek Fergus, and oh, heavy fish. And it uses a braided Dacron core and cross-cut rabbit palmered all the way up onto a short shanked ring eye hook, and then you clip the point of the ring eye hook off. So this, you can fish large flies, but on the tail end is a small little number 4 octopus up by almost egg hook. Very hard for the fish to throw, so I can throw a very big fly without the risk of having a long shank, which fish can lever during the battle and get it out. So this was just casting across, letting it swing, adding the odd strip, and it just gets heavy. It almost feels like you hooked a big rock for the first second, and then it starts to throb to life. And this looks like a nice brook trout, big male. So here you can see how long this fly is. It's got a braided core, so nothing for the fish to lever against. Small hook, big fly. You can make some really big flies with this technique. It's the mole, mother of all leeches. And this is the reward here, this huge brook trout, which I'm going to show you. Look at this. This is why you come to Labrador. Look at the sides on this fish. He's all ready to go. These brookies don't get long, but they sure get deep. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous Labrador brookie. So we'll let him get back in, and this is why you come. World class. I can't think of another place on the planet you can get brook trout this size, this consistently, both on big streamers and top waters like the shaving brush, bass poppers, articulated lemmings, things like that. Look at the shoulders on that. Beautiful fish. Very nice. We've had a wonderful experience here at Crooks Lake Lodge in Labrador. Fantastic. You gotta come do this. Hopefully you learned a lot about big flies for big fish. For more information on this show and other shows in our informative series, please visit us on the World Wide Web at www.thenewflyfisher.com.
What a nice fish. Look at the size of that smallmouth, folks.
As you can see, we have very healthy fish population.
Okay.